We continue our look at the Fortnite figures. Today we're looking at Raptor. Here we have Raptor. He is a solo mode figure from the Fortnite action figure toy line. We've got Raptor here, we've got his harvesting tool there, and we've got some really cool looking card art there. I'm going to flip this package around real quick. Take a look at the back. So here we have the cross sale right there. We got Bandolier Technique Carbide Drift advertised front and center. We have the upper portion of Raptor up here visible, and the lower portion, this thing just kind of belts him across. And we have what he is. He's a Royal Air Force test pilot. And we've got some typical warnings, and we got the website and all this sort of small print right here. So I don't know about you, it's all a cool package, and by the way, it will stand up if I put it here. Let me turn this sideways here. It is designed that if you wanted to keep this in the package, you could do that and stand it up. So that's kind of neat. It angles down to meet this rim. So anyway, you could also hang it somewhere. Let me get this low enough here. You could also hang it somewhere as well. But we're not about leaving things in the package and displaying them on this channel. We are about opening things. So we're going to open Raptor. So I'll be right back. I'm going to rip him open. Now, I'm going to cut him open. All right. Here is Raptor. He is back. And you probably can't tell that he is actually cut open. I'm trying my best to do a good job because on the off chance I do want to put him back in to maybe stand him up or display, I want to try and leave the package pretty nice. So I will do this. I'll show you here. What I've done is I cut along the top and this side, and I stop right here at that corner so as not to bother this area or weaken it at all. So if I do this, I can open him up, and I can pull it out. Check that out. And there, now we set this here. Let's see, we kind of set this here. There's not as much weight in there as there once was, but we can have him for the background or something. Now I will make a little point here, or I'll mention something. It's when you open these figures, I've noticed that on all of them so far, they have a bit of a strong plasticky smell that just hits you. So if you smell something, I'm taking a guess that that's normal. So here we are, Raptor. We'll pull out his harvesting tool. We will pull out his building material, and we will pull out him. There's really not much to these figures, accessory-wise. You have to buy things like the loot chests to really bulk up on accessories. Here's a cool little deal, that little thin piece of cardboard that you could take off if you wanted to and attach other places. You really can, see? But I'm going to leave this intact. And it's cool, there's a little sticker cardboard thing here with his name on it. I'm going to set this off to the side. Or throw it off to the side. Alright. So here's Raptor. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I don't want any distraction with my camera. Oh, oops. I forgot something. And that is that every single Fortnite figure comes with a collector's guide. A little piece of paper on the inside that tells us things. What does it tell us? Well, I'll just tell you real fast. I won't dwell on it. It's showing you all the different figure skins available, and shows you all, see what I mean? Bulk up on the accessories. Here are all the accessories available, and guns and weapons and harvesting tools and back bling and gliders. And notice at the end they all say more coming soon. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that soon is actually pretty soon. So here we are. We have Raptor right here. This is a cool character. This is a cool figure. Let me rephrase that. For anyone familiar with G.I. Joe, this is kind of the design and style of G.I. Joe, except for with a couple extra added points of articulation here. So we'll set Raptor right here. Not really set, but we'll see if we can get him to stand. I don't know if I can get him to stand properly. That doesn't matter. So right here we've got his harvesting tool, and this is called, is it the Sceptre? The Sceptre, yeah. It's called the Sceptre harvesting tool, and on the collector's guide it's classified as a rare item. So I don't know if it's really actually that rare. Maybe it's rare based off of if you have the skin. We've got some wooden building material here, and they've got the little hooks so you can attach more to it. It's also the peg, the figure stand peg. Let me see if I can mess up my background here so we can stand him up. The thing I was having a rough time doing a second ago. So here we go. You can kind of see it way down there, but he is standing. So cool. All right, that's his accessories. That makes for pretty short little videos on these things. But anyway, here's a little bit closer look at Raptor. He's got a headset and microphone on. I think he may be on Twitch right now. Maybe streaming the Fortnite game. I don't know. But he's got his headset. He's got his mic. He's got a yellow mask, kind of like a stocking cap type of mask, and looks like the same style of shirt. He's got some sort of what looks to be a pilot jacket, and some gray pants with pretty bright yellow gloves. And he's got what I would probably classify as some serious, maybe like hiking type boots. They got some serious laces here and some really good tread on here. I'm taking a peek because my Rust Lord figure, it looks like they're using the same feet as the Rust Lord, and this one has a left and a right foot. Sadly, my Rust Lord only had 2 left feet. Make a joke as you will. So anyway, he's got a belt across the torso with some, looks like, I'm guessing some shells, some bullet shells. He's got some harnesses here that create some sort of a connection to a back bling. So if we find some back bling, we can attach and it won't look that odd. He's got a couple green, kind of lime, light green grenades on his back belt. And he's got some pretty heavy duty knee pads there. So what's his articulation? Well, let's move them. Some of these have been pretty difficult to move right out of the bag, and he's no exception. So moving his arms straight up, that's kind of... He lost his top. Oh man, if that shows you how difficult it's been, how tight this joint is. Wow. There we go. Pop goes the Raptor. So let's do this a different way. So that's about as high as his shoulders will bend straight up. We can rotate them around, maybe, and then they go up about that high with his armpits facing the sky. So this jacket makes the articulation a little bit diminished right through the arms. The head doesn't really move back and forth too much. That's the torso it's trying to move, but his head doesn't really move. If I rotate it around, I can get him to go about that far before his mic and chin hit the jacket, and same thing about that far. Now if I wiggle and really wiggle, and if you notice that mic is starting to get squished down in the back of that, so that's probably about as far as I comfortably can go. He does have a neck joint that kind of goes up and down, and I can do that. Then I could finish turning his head around, but that's a very weird, creepy pose right there. So I need to get him out of this pose before I bend that neck joint back up. So there's the neck joint bent down if he's got his head facing normal. So there's not a lot of movement here. I am noticing that up in here, this yellow-orange shirt area has some, like maybe green, or it's got some smudging for paint up there. It's probably pretty unique to the different figures. So anyway, he has, as we've already learned, he's got a pretty movable torso. So let's straighten his arms out, and he can move over a little bit. He can bend about like so, and he can rotate his torso all the way around, and his waist should rotate. There we go. Just had to crack that waist. And then this will also then rotate all the way around, which gives some pretty cool, he can do some interesting motions with that waist articulation. Then we've got his feet. Uh-oh. We lost him. Hang on. Things like to jump out of my hands during videos. Anyway, so if he were to jump out of a plane, because he's a pilot, well, then again, maybe we don't want him jumping, he could probably bend his legs about that far back. If we were to sit him in like a G.I. Joe vehicle, he does about that. But the problem is his legs spread. So they don't go together real well. And he's got thigh articulation. So he can stand like strangely like that. And they rotate all the way around, both of his thighs. He's got a standard double knee joint that's pretty standard for all these 4-inch figures. And actually, I'm not a 6-inch figure guy, but probably the 6-inch figures have them too. So it's a pretty standard articulation nowadays, or a movement. And let's see, his upper legs don't move, but his feet rotate around. Am I making you dizzy here? So his feet rotate all the way around. And we can bend them about that far. And then if we bend them up, he can really walk into the wind doing this type of thing. But they bend about that far. So he's got really, really good articulation, except for the head and the arm area of the jacket. And that about does it there for Raptor articulation, movement, motion-wise. So it's a pretty cool figure. I'm sure that somebody could modify this into the G.I. Joe world pretty easy. Oh, I didn't mention the elbows. So the elbows go up about that far, and they go down probably actually just about that far. There's a little bit of a piece here that prevents it going down too far. And they rotate all the way around. The other thing is the hands, his wrists. They rotate all the way around. And this one's got a rocker, kind of this kind of motion there. And so does the other hand. Now, unlike the G.I. Joe figures, I've noticed the G.I. Joe figures, the left hand will do this, and the right hand will do this. Both of Raptor's hands, they both do this. So anyway, yeah, there's really not much more to show about this guy. This has got all of his stuff. This is him and his stuff. Let's put him on his building material. Let's get his Sceptre. And I will be completely honest, there's a strong possibility I am going to be putting this in his arm the incorrect way. So if I am and somebody notices it, please in the comments let me know that I've put his harvesting tool in his hand the wrong way. I'm looking at it and it makes me think this is how it would go. Because harvesting, right, you're going to be chopping and this kind of a curve. I don't know that you would do, well, yeah, please let me know in the comment section. Just the way it looks like this should be the front. So if I'm wrong, let me know. I'm open to that. So here we go. Here is Raptor. Let's get dizzy and spin him around. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to drop me a line, please do so in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to be notified of future videos, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon next to it. I will see you next time.